Welcome to Ancient Secrets channel. Have you ever felt judged before you even spoke, like your presence alone disturbed someone's comfort? That's because not all hate is loud. Some of it is silent. It hides behind smiles, polite words, or distant eyes. Today, we'll uncover 10 Stoic reasons why some people quietly resent you, not for what you do, but for who you are. These are reflections, not accusations. And through each one, you'll learn how to protect your energy without losing your integrity. Because when you see the hidden root of resentment, you stop reacting and start rising. So take a breath, let go of the noise, and step with us into a clearer, calmer way of seeing the world and yourself. Let's begin. 1. Your light triggers their shadows. Your quiet confidence can feel like a spotlight on someone else's insecurity. They admire you, but only until your success starts reflecting their stagnation. That's when envy sets in. They may not insult you directly, but they'll subtly dismiss your wins or question your motives. Why? Because it's easier to critique your light than face their own darkness. Stoicism teaches us their discomfort is not your responsibility. Don't dim to make others feel safe. Just walk on, with humility, not apology. Your light isn't offensive. It's just bright enough to reveal what others are avoiding. And remember, your progress is a reflection of your effort, not their failures. 2. Misinterpretation builds silent walls. Sometimes people hate you for something you never said or meant. One misread tone, one unreturned message, and they build an entire story around you. Perception becomes reality in their mind. They stop asking questions and start assuming. Stoicism reminds us, people suffer more in imagination than reality, and once that internal story is formed, it becomes harder to correct. You may never get the chance to explain, but you don't need to. Speak clearly. Walk calmly. Let your truth be consistent enough to outlive their misunderstanding. The right people will see it eventually. The rest? They weren't listening to begin with. Clarity over defense, every time. 3. Your values challenge their comfort. Living by principles, discipline, silence, purpose may feel threatening to those who live by habit. You didn't attack their way of life, but your choices quietly expose their compromises. That's why your presence alone may unsettle them. As Epictetus said, people aren't disturbed by facts, but by what those facts reveal about themselves. You represent something they chose not to become. Don't argue. Don't prove, just continue. Real integrity doesn't need permission, and often, the more silent your example, the louder their discomfort. Stay centered, walk your path, and remember, living with clarity will always disturb those still ruled by confusion. 4. They believe the gossip, not the truth. You might be disliked for a version of yourself that doesn't even exist. Gossip doesn't need proof, only repetition. Once someone hears the wrong story about you, they may choose the lie because it fits what they already feel. That's not your battle. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the pain is not from the thing, but from your judgment of it. Let others talk. Let your actions speak louder. In a world obsessed with noise, your consistency will say what rumors can't. The truth always arrives, just slower and with more weight. Your silence, when grounded in truth, speaks louder than their noise ever could. 5. You remind them of what they're avoiding. Sometimes your strength is a mirror. It reflects not your power, but their unhealed wounds. When people see your clarity, your calm, your purpose, they may not feel inspired. They may feel exposed. And instead of turning inward, they turn against you. That's projection. Stoic wisdom reminds us, their pain isn't your job to fix, but your boundaries are yours to maintain. You don't owe anyone a smaller version of yourself just so they can feel okay. You just owe yourself the honesty to keep walking anyway. Their discomfort is real, but so is your right to grow. Keep your peace and hold your line. 6. Lack of empathy creates false narratives. People who can't see beyond their own emotions often misread everything around them. Your silence becomes arrogance. Your boundaries become rejection. Your success becomes a personal threat. It's not malice. It's a lack of empathy. They react, but they never reflect. Stoicism trains us to respond with poise, not pain. You don't need to explain yourself to someone unwilling to understand you. The more clearly you live, the more they'll misinterpret you until one day they either grow or go. Either way, your job is to stay clear, not to be understood by everyone. Their story about you is not your truth. 7. Silent rivalry fueled by comparison. Some people quietly turn against you the moment your progress outpaces theirs. What began as friendly motivation becomes silent competition. Your wins feel like their losses, and instead of improving, they resent. Stoicism teaches us to compete only with who we were yesterday. If someone tries to drag you into rivalry, let your indifference confuse them. Stand tall without stepping on anyone. Your path is your own, and if your growth triggers their jealousy, let it be their lesson, not your burden. Focus on your mission. Leave the scoreboard behind, because true strength isn't measured by winning over others. It's measured by mastering yourself. 8. You refuse to fit in. Conformity is comfortable for those who depend on it. But when you break the script, when you leave the job, speak the truth, or choose stillness over chaos, you threaten the norm. Not by force, but by example. That's when silent enemies form. Stoics don't follow crowds, they follow clarity. So don't apologize for being different. You weren't born to be understood by everyone. You were born to live honestly, even if that honesty makes others uncomfortable. Keep going, quietly, boldly. The world will resist what it doesn't understand, but that's not your problem. It's your sign that you're becoming real. 9. They feel invisible in your presence. Some people resent you simply because you're seen. You speak and others listen. You show up and others notice. But they've been overlooked for so long, your visibility becomes their pain. Not because of what you did, but because of what they feel they lack. That's not arrogance, it's projection. Stoicism says, don't shrink for someone else's comfort. Acknowledge others when you can, but don't carry guilt for being noticed. Your presence is not the problem. Their self-worth is their responsibility. Let your light shine, but don't take responsibility for the shadows it reveals. 10. They lack the emotional maturity to handle difference. Not everyone is ready to face emotional complexity. Some people live in a world of black and white, right or wrong, for me or against me. So when you show nuance, boundaries, or clarity, they see threat. They don't pause to ask, they judge. Stoicism teaches us it's not our role to drag others into maturity. We lead by example, not argument. Respond with grace, walk away with dignity. Their hate doesn't need a fight. Your peace is the only answer they can't argue with. Let their limitations stay theirs and keep your soul uncluttered. Walk on, unshaken. The reasons people secretly resent you are often not about you at all. They're about their fear, their projection, their pain. The Stoic doesn't react to whispers. He rises above them. So walk on with integrity, humility, and clarity. You don't need to be liked by everyone. You only need to be loyal to yourself. If this video brought you peace, comment inner peace and subscribe to Ancient Secrets channel for more grounded truths. Because your greatest power is not in being praised, it's in staying free, no matter who misunderstands you.